What's going on? It's your boy Will Mark Craven. I said, let me do this joint before I walk out the door and step into the audio world, show blacks and everything. So, this Will Smith stuff I see has not died down, and me personally, I like to pretty much cater to relationships. Um, and well, quite frankly, all of the stuff to me, even though I did a video already on the hypothetical, but all of this stuff to me was staged. It was like what, maybe a month ago, where quite a bit of my audio buddies, we saw what the Oscars put out in regards to needing to bump up the ratings because the show was being labeled boring and they needed to spice things up. This was their response to the post production world, who they were cutting from the show live, that was actually being broadcast live. They were cutting that and at making them have their own portion of the show, which a lot of the post world was thinking about boycotting the Oscars, and how disrespectful it was to the audio people not to be recognized publicly, as films would not be what they are without post production. Like a lot of stuff that's celebrated and people enjoy in film has a lot to do with post production work. So the minute I saw what transpired with the Will Smith thing, it instantly took me back to there. Not to mention that I've taken acting classes before. I've taken martial arts before too, and to see how that actual exchange went was like, that was an obvious telegraph if I've ever seen one. I mean, I've never in my life seen a man embrace, stick his chin down, grit his teeth before the slap is actually in motion, let alone put your hands behind your back. Which is why I always say pay attention, because your hands should already, when you see someone approaching you, your hands should already be in the act of engagement, ready. I mean, I've said that on the video before. So to see this man put his hands behind his back is like, yeah, come on, man, y'all, y'all just the biggest stage if I've ever seen one. But of course, people aren't going to do that. Well, they're not going to accept the fact that it's staged. They're just going to buy into the antics. Why? Because this is our reality. Social media, the internet is the reality. People say, "Oh, that's a fake reality." No, it's real reality. People are living on this thing daily. I mean, you've seen millions and millions of people sharing this stuff, talking about this, and it's superseded everything that's going on in the world currently. It's everything else is instantly taking a back burner, or a backseat, if you will. So it's like, yes, this is our reality. The reality is that people dwell. We live in modern day Sims, in which we used to say this when I was in high school, because I believe Sims came out when I was, yeah, it was, Sims might have came, I might have been, I think I was a freshman when Sims came out, like 1995, 96 or something like that. And then we also had the DigiPet crap, where you have to take care of a pet on a little itty bitty thing, and that was such the craze, and people were getting consumed by it, which is why I think all of these events that has transpired are planning for something else down the line. Because even what I just mentioned, Sims was introduced into a whole reality world, and it's kind of interesting how the parallels of how people move today are with that, as well as the Digipet. It's it ushered in something in which, honestly, I believe this whole ordeal is going to usher in things in regards to relationships, and it's you really better be having your eyes open, honestly, and which is why I always say pay attention, because I seen tons and tons of people saying you better defend your wife, or you better do such and such and such, and make no mistake, if you do such a thing, and you're not worth any money, you're going to jail. If you do such a thing and you are worth money and the other guy isn't, you're going to be in for a lawsuit. There's no two ways about it. If physical violence is not being inflicted upon you, do not move. I saw just last week, yeah, that was just last week, a guy from Chicago working for CTA Transit Authority had an altercation with the guy, and the guy was steady trying to stop him from coming up on him. He pushed him one last time, then walked away from him, and which he shouldn't have never turned his back to the guy. The other guy looked a little confused, looked at another guy. When the individual, somebody in the background turns around and says, "You gonna take that?" And instantly, what does he do? Pulls out his gun, walks down the stairs following after the guy, and open fires and killed this guy. I believe he killed the guy. If he didn't kill the guy, he inflicted wounds on the guy because he shot the guy. So hopefully the guy didn't dead. If he is dead, my condolences to his family. That's just a sad occasion. But that stuff like that, all this does is, even if it was staged, planned, or whatever, to boost ratings or whatever else, there's a whole nother twofold part to it. Because as I always say, for every action there's a reaction, and the problem with our society is we don't do enough thorough teaching. So people are automatically going to see this and then get triggered by it, but because we don't deal in the details, and we only deal with surface stuff because we've developed this over time. People want Cliff Notes versions. They don't want to read everything or learn in depth because they want to hear. They want it now. They want it here. Here and now is what they want. So with that being said, it's like we got a problem on our hands, because I had a friend who was over in Europe, stationed in the beginning of the pandemic, and it's like, man, all I see from the United States over there is they tell me, like, y'all all then went and bought guns. What's going on over there? So now that a lot of people have guns and ammunition, it's gonna be easy for people to pull out stuff because we're not equipped to deal with such things, which is going to create a problem. And we're going to see a lot of problems arise from this, unfortunately, because, as I said, people saw this and I was like, oh, I'm going to defend my wife. And so there are some, it created once again, this side, that side. We saw this side, that side with the election. We're seeing this side and that side as far as the stuff that's going on in Russia. We're seeing this side and that side as far as the stuff that's going on with the pandemic and all the stuff with that. We've now created a society where we're pitting sides against each other constantly at every given moment to create dollars. Because rest assured, believe, two sides being pit is creating dollars. It's creating controversy, which is creating chaos. And this is why I say you need to be your own peace. You need to be able to deal with yourself, analyze yourself, evaluate constantly. Because if you're not paying this stuff attention beyond the surface, you're going to get caught up in the trick bag. And the tricks are going to be on you. So, with that being said, man, pay attention. Evaluate every situation before you make moves. Because any move you make is going to be a reaction to your move, and can you deal with the reaction? These events that we've seen are creating a chain of reactions, and they're going to keep creating chains of reactions. And some of them are not going to be favorable reactions. You better have your head on a swivel. You better be paying attention, and you better evaluate, and you better start thinking thoroughly. Because if you don't, you're going to get yourself caught in the trick bag. So with that being said, fix your face, fix your spirit, scale the fish, spit out the bones. Man, pay attention at all costs.